Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is PsychoGold, this is PsychoGold Videos, and today we are going to be catching up on Vinland Saga. I believe this is episode 7 that we're going to be watching. Yes, it is. And then we've got episode 8 and episode 9. And then episode 10 will be at the weekend, which isn't too far away. So yeah, I need some catching up to do, man. So all my brain really wants to do at the moment is watch Parasite, so I'm kind of forcing myself to watch this because I know once I start, I'll have to, be back into it. So let's dive right back in and see how Thorfinn is doing since we last seen him. Obviously, this is like 3 weeks old or closer to 4 weeks old at this point, so sorry about that. But as I said before I went away, I knew I was going to fall behind with Vinland Saga and Fire Force. Didn't think I was going to be 3 episodes behind. I thought I'd be able to catch up at least with a couple of episodes when I came back the first time. But I ended up being way busier than I anticipated, so we're going to have to just do a little bit of a mini marathon. So without further ado, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. England, 1012 AD. Oh, I don't look like that no more. You have to really go out of your way to find a place that has an unbroken view like that. Well, I don't think you really want to go up against Askeladd's rule. I mean, he made short work of most people. Oh, okay. So where's this then? Oh, they've gone to France. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not very good at, what's the word I want? Keeping track of all of the various historical things that were going on, so I've no idea what was happening in France around this time. I love that. They're like, I can't believe they just attacked him head on. No, I know, it does seem daft, but it's amazing how many battles that is the case. Gonna make them do all the work and then they'll take all the rewards. Pretty much. Sounds about right. Oh, everybody's got a more serious look on their face now. They're not laughing at him like they used to. We're going to war. Damn, his voice is deepened. He sounds even deeper than the last episode. It's a lot more grumpy. Like, it has a little more gravelly to it. Fair enough. You've given him a goal. He shall accomplish it. Why does he Naruto run everywhere? I don't get it at all. Tactically speaking, having Thorfinn around makes so much sense as an expendable soldier, but internally, if he succeeds, then Askeladd will have created an absolute monster like his dad was. Well, at the same time, mate, you're a Frenchman, and the people that you're talking about are Vikings. They're quite used to dealing with harsh conditions in the sea. Which of course isn't true in the slightest, but very nice bluff, kid. I was gonna say, there's a terrifying sight, especially back in the day. It's an appropriate response to having Vikings coming over the hill, to be fair. I feel sorry for that guy. He looks like the most capable there, but he's stuck with a bad commander, I'm guessing. It's so weird that they can't speak the same language, but we're hearing it all in Japanese. Because, of course, normally, in like an English production, they would just have them speak another language and give us subtitles. So, I do find that kind of interesting that they don't do that in this. They just keep everything in Japanese, but act like they don't have a clue what's being said. Oh! No, they're actually running late. Okay. Interesting. So what are they going to do? Oh! Oh, Thorfinn has his target then. Here we go. Yeah. Something's coming through the trees. They built like a battering ram or something. No. Okay. It's the actual ships. Bye-bye. So they're carrying their boats. What? Okay, yeah. Oh, damn, that's a hell of a jump, Torfin. But doesn't surprise me, you can do it at this point. So they've carried their boats and then gone around. That's hysterical, man. They didn't try and go through the dangerous bit. They just literally walked them over. Whoa. And the fact that they're still going just shows you how much freaking strength they have. Oh, okay. So because they're crossbows, they can get a lot more power in them. I'd have disagreed with that. The longbows that I've used are a hell of a lot more powerful than a crossbow, but then different time periods, different countries, different makes of bows, so... Oh, his fingers! You can't do that on Chivalry or Mordhau. I like the way he gave them time to draw swords, and is still going to slaughter them. He is just an unstoppable force. Yeah. What? Oh, the head's gone in the water. And he just jumped away from all of the soldiers that were still there. And as long as you stay in the water, those crossbows won't do anything against you. They'll just hit the water and lose all their momentum. I'm gonna say, they got bigger problems to worry about, like the Vikings that have just come aboard. Oh, look at the size difference there with some of them. Oh! I was gonna say, that's gonna leave a mark. Well, the other French dudes are in now, so I think that's pretty safe to say that the fort is lost. Only to discover that the people they thought they were going to come and fight have already been ripped to shreds. Quite literally. It's empty! Askeladd took all of it. Wow, they're efficient. I was going to say effective, that's not what I meant. Nicely written. Like, oh, I love it. You get the victory in the fort. We'll take the gold. I was going to say, no, he's not dead. The fact that he was in the water that entire time is pretty impressive. But yeah, now might not be the best time. That's an interesting feat of physics then, but alright. Oh, that's better. Now they look like they're bouncing around, but yeah. When it first dropped, it was like, that's not how it... What? I was going to say, they've certainly got enough spoils to survive the winter. That was episode 7. We're going to go straight into episode 8. And then I'll talk about both episodes at the end. Or I might keep it a bit shorter. But either way, let's go straight into episode 8. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Well, we're still alive. Who'd have thought it? So is this the place where we first met them when Floki tried to... Well, didn't try, succeeded. But he hired them to kill, you know, the Troll of Jom. Tours. Oh, okay, so they've come back to enjoy the winter, essentially, so they're not going to be doing any more plundering. Oh, is this where we're going to see that they have kids and families on the island as well? Beyond the edge of the sea. Yep, looks like it. Oh, I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Yeah. Well done, mate. Put your sword down. Don't try it. So he has literally every girl in the village after him. Fair enough. Uncle Gorm. Okay. They aren't modest at all. Love it. Gonna say, she's off with the fairies, mate. What was she thinking about? Dunno, but Askeladd's thinking about her. Ah, she's a slave. That's what I was wondering. Ow! So she went from being a feudal lord's daughter to a slave overnight. Well, of course she's slow at work. She's never had to perform anything like that before. You're bad at using her? Oh! I knew he was using Thorfinn, that it was all part of his manipulation. I love the fact that the crew are always cheering on Thorfinn. I can't make up my mind if they are genuinely curious to see if he can win, or if they're just taking the piss, because I think it's probably a mix of the two. But I still don't think Thorfinn's skilled enough to beat them. I know that he has a hell of a lot better, but you know what I mean? Even everybody else watching this is just like, really, kid? Again? You'd want to... I'd leave it for a good couple years. Whoa! That was fast! Askeladd was caught off guard there. Yeah, he's got a little bit of bead of sweat. He's a lot stronger now. I love the fact that they're all, like, cheering him on because he's getting stronger. But I still don't see how this can end any other way than one of them dying. But I don't think Thorfinn's got it in him yet to beat Askeladd. Oh! Maybe I'm wrong. I was gonna say, you don't want to let him get anywhere near you. Ah, he's playing him mentally. He's trying to piss him off and throw him off balance. Don't fall for it, Thorfinn. No, he's gone. Askeladd knows exactly what he's doing to make sure he doesn't have a hope in hell of winning this fight. Of course Askeladd's going to remember him. He's the only person, as far as I can tell, that's ever beaten Askeladd. How can you not see what he's doing, Thorfinn? Yeah. Bjorn can see it too. He's like, you idiot. You've lost. See? You gotta hand it to Askeladd. He is a master tactician in his head. You know, able to manipulate people mentally seems to be his go-to. And even though he's very, very capable as a physical fighter, every time thinking about it, he's always tried to play the mental game. It didn't work against, yeah, you know, it didn't work against Tors, and that's why he got absolutely obliterated by Tors. Yeah. Like I said, Askeladd always surprises you when he actually opens up and is inputting on an act. So what is Askeladd a slave to, is the obvious question there. What is it that he's thinking of that keeps him in this life? Because he's hinted several times that he's not doing it out of choice. Ha! Okay. This is a hallucination, or is it actually his spirit? Or will we never know? So he wants him, assuming if that's a spirit, then he wants him to forgive. And if it's a hallucination stroke... Oh, hello there! Stroke memory, then it's the same thing, but obviously without the spiritual side of it. Well, these two should get along fine, considering the situation that they both find themselves in. Yeah, she's in no rush to go back. I think she'd rather sit out in the cold with you than have to go back in there, and I don't blame her. She can barely stand up. Really? The amount he whips you? Ha! Funny. His advice is exactly what he needs to hear. But he can't see how that applies to his own situation. Ha! Yeah. Pretty much. Didn't think you'd actually say that, though. He's telling the story. So he's not completely gone then. He is, like, how he used to be and what his family were like is still in there. Oh! Okay. Where are we now? Oh, okay. So it's a year later, and we've gone over to Denmark, where... Is she a shield maiden? All hail the king. Who suddenly doesn't look so fragile as he did a minute ago. The insolent English. Yes, how dare we fight to save our own country from you, the invaders. Oh, I see. So they want him to come along because he's not actually that great a fighter, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's true. Can't really be the leader of a race of warriors if the person you're following is a coward or not great on the battlefield. Doesn't necessarily have to come from cowardice. Lack of experience, etc., etc. I love the way that it says Londinium on the map, but the subtitles say London. It would have been Londinium back then, man. Oh, I like the music for this battle. Whoa! That's a hell of an axe throw. Wait. I'm confused. That was the episode 8. I watched that a little bit earlier. I had to take a break in between, and we're now going to watch episode 9. I thought episode 8 was fantastic. Probably not going to be my best review because I'm going to be trying to do all 3 at once at the end, and I know I'm not going to talk about them in as much details as possible, so hopefully you guys on Patreon are making the most out of the uncut stuff. As a quick shout out to the people on YouTube, if you do want to watch this uncut and, you know, you get 3 episodes all in one go, obviously, feel free to go and check out the Patreon page. The link is always in the description below. The lowest tier for uncut reactions is only $5. Everything else is just either early access to stuff or it is the film reaction. But if you're not fussed about films, then you don't need to worry about any of the higher tiers. So it's worth checking out if you want to. But if not, it's cool too. Either way, we're going to dive into episode 9. I'm very curious what's going to happen next, given the way the duel went, and obviously now we're like another year ahead, and I'm really confused if that was Askeladd at the end there of episode 8, because it looked like him, even though he was like wearing completely different clothing and he looked like he was going a bit mental. But did we hire them at some point? Have they swapped sides? Because I'm very, very confused. Either that or it's someone who looks really similar to Askeladd, man. Either way, episode 9, 3, 2, 1, go. October 1013, Londinium, England. The Battle of London Bridge. No, it's a fortress. Yeah, exactly. London's not an easy place to take. Thorkel the Tall. Wait, isn't that the dude that we saw at the beginning of the very first episode that fought alongside Tors? The one strong enough to basically just wipe out tons of people in one swing. Maybe it might not be him. Like I say, I don't know the history as detailed as this. I just know the big overall, this happened, you know, but I couldn't tell you the names. But like I said in other episodes, it's really making me want to go back and look into it more. I just like to kill people. Fair enough. Well, if you like to kill people then, why did you say you were only coming along because it was going to be an easy win? Surely you want a harder kill. I like the way he keeps commenting about the fact his father couldn't beat him, and yet he beat him without any effort whatsoever. And Askeladd knows it. That's why he keeps putting him off balance mentally, because physically, I think he knows that Thorfinn is one day going to just crush him. If he was really following his father's advice, he wouldn't be trying to fight him at all. He'd just be trying to live his life, which is the point. Damn, Thorkill looks nuts. But it did look like Askeladd. Like, I could tell it wasn't right. That's why I was so hesitant to say it. But I don't know. They just he looked very similar to him in that one frame, but now not so much. I mean, obviously they've both got blonde hair, but they had with the eyes big and large like they were. Maybe it was just throwing me off. I don't know. That's what was throwing me off. So I've just now realised that Thorkell is in the opening credits looking as crazy as he is, and it's right in front of a shot of Askeladd. So I've been associating the two of them, thinking that that was a shot of Askeladd fighting. Oh, okay, so Thorkell can speak the right language then. Damn, that dude is tall. I like the way the dudes are either side of Floki. They're looking tough, but you could kind of see it. You know, he doesn't really want to fight him. He's just like Bjorn, he just wants to fight. Whoa, that's a rock. I was gonna say, reverse! Reverse! Oh, I'm amazed they were able to move the boat out the way, to be honest. I really can't believe how bad their archery is. I mean, I know they're a moving target, but... And I'm only insulting them as someone who's done archery. Even when the target's moving, it's not that difficult to get that close. I can understand them not actually killing them, but their arrows are going nowhere near the mark. Oh, but they can hit their targets at least. Oh, damn! Yeah, that's the end of that boat. We just made it up on the spot, lads. It was pretty obvious. He just wants to give Thorfinn enough space to jump. Sending a small person after a big person. Tale as old as time. The small person almost always wins. He's got agility on his side. Damn, this fight is well animated. Oh, I don't think he is. I just don't think you're quite understanding his abilities. Oh, he got him. And I don't know if you've got the power to cut through him, to be honest. I mean, he's got such a mass on him. Is Thorfinn going to have the ability to do it? Oh, he's flexible for a big guy. I mean, he's not going to. He's going to keep trying to go up high, but his legs. Oh, wait. Maybe he is. Oh. Oh, he did! He finally did what I said like 4 episodes ago! Yes! Oh, he took it! He just put his hand out and caught the blade! Yeah, you're screwed now, Thorfinn. The look of glee on Thorkell's face. I like the way they're all watching. Yet, whilst this is all happening, other Vikings could easily just come along and start hacking away at the pier. You just think, oh dear, he's not dead. You're about to get killed. Yep, I fucking knew you shouldn't underestimate him. Oh, he's acknowledging him as a warrior because he won't give up and he's still going. Oh, his name. Yeah. It is him from the first episode. You shouldn't have run away, kid. I think he might be a friend. Ah, so he's going to suggest that London isn't worth the effort, and they just go and take the rest of the country and come back for it later. Who is this Ragnar? He doesn't look like he's a soldier or anything. Oh, okay, so is he like the guy that actually raised him, even though, you know, the king is supposed to be his dad? I'm still, I know they keep saying that's a dude, but every time the camera pans in, Canute, or however you say his name, really doesn't look like a guy. The skin is so smooth, man. It's like, what freaking oils does he use at night, you know? I swear Thorfinn must be like one of the best swimmers of the time, because he seems to get stuck in water so much and yet he never dies. He didn't want to win, he wanted him to keep fighting. Yeah, with a sea of broken ships all around and you're wondering why they don't want to contribute all of their forces towards it. He's gonna get stronger though. He's gonna learn from that experience and realize, you know, what he could have done better. Thorfinn is definitely a fast learner. Oh yeah, he's definitely nuts. Well, there you go guys, I am now properly caught up on Vinland Saga. I have just watched episode 7 and 8, and then I took a bit of a break, and then I watched episode 9 as well. And episode 10 will be out in like 3 days, so expect some more Vinland Saga coming your way very soon. Overall, I thought those were some amazing episodes. The rematch between Thorfinn and Askeladd was just amazingly animated, packed full of emotion. The fight we just got between Thorfinn and Thorkel was just as well animated, if not better, but it really demonstrated how much Thorfinn has grown, but also how much he still has to grow. After all, he was able to keep up with him at first, but once he made a costly mistake, which was thinking that he had gotten the killing blow before he actually had, he needed to let go of his knife the second it got stuck inside Thorkel's palm, because once Thorkel had hold of him, there was absolutely no way that Thorfinn was going to be able to get out of that, and he was basically just tossed around. I like watching the Hulk toss around Loki, if I'm being completely honest, but hey, at least Thorfinn tried. He didn't give up, he's still in the fight, and he earned Thorkel's respect for it. And somehow, despite all the injuries that Thorfinn has, he managed to float his way down through the river and come out and meet Askeladd running away with his army once again. I also thought it was quite interesting seeing the relationship between Thorfinn and the slave girl who had been a noble girl not long beforehand. I honestly thought she was going to be more important. Like, it's always confusing how much time has passed between these episodes. Sometimes it's obvious, like it was 10:12 at the start and then it's 10:13 at the beginning of the next episode, so you know it's a whole year afterwards. But I honestly thought the relationship between that slave girl and Thorfinn was going to be drawn upon more, and it really wasn't. So maybe she'll come back in a future episode, you know, when they go back to that village again. Maybe seeing the comparison between the two of them is going to be something that they'll keep going back to. Or maybe she's just there for one episode and they wanted to make some comments about, like I said, Askeladd saying that the guy who thinks he's in charge of her is himself a slave to finances. And I loved his comments saying that we're all slave to something. I think every content creator out there can relate to that because, yeah, we're free and independent and we don't work for anybody, we work for ourselves. But at the same time, we really aren't that free, because if we don't feed the YouTube algorithm, or if we don't keep streaming on Twitch, or if we don't, whatever your platform it is that you're working on, if we don't keep getting content out really quick, then that platform will pretty much make it impossible for anyone to actually see what we're doing, and it keeps imposing rules on us that are impossible to follow, whether regardless of if you're family friendly or if, you know, you're not. It doesn't matter, because the rules and what you can do just keeps getting smaller and smaller. So I actually found that line quite amusing. You know, you can relate that to anyone. There isn't a single person out there that can 100% claim that they don't have something that they're a slave to. I mean, most people, let's be completely honest, are slaves to this damn thing, their phones. They can't detach themselves from it. Even the ones that say they can't. A lot of the people are like, oh, I could totally not look at my phone. Okay, don't. And see how long that lasts. Because a lot of them will look at it instinctively. They won't even realize they're doing it. And yeah, even Buddhist monks out there in the temples, completely cut off from civilization, they follow the regimented routine of being a monk. They have their own set daily routine of what they do to try and, you know, free themselves from the burden of regular life. But of course, by doing so, they are in essence agreeing to obey the particular set of rules that the temple has set upon them. So you're basically just trading one set of rules for another, and, you know, freedom doesn't really have a true place in either world. I very much think that Askeladd is kind of like, you know, that line from Braveheart, you could take our lives but you can't take our freedom, and of course they all die, and it's like, yeah, there you go, death is true freedom. No one can get anything from you anymore because you ain't here anymore. I don't know. I find that this show gives a lot of thoughts along those lines. Not death, but, well, yes, death, but I just mean it's very thought-provoking in that the way you can interpret its bigger messages or its subtext, I just find really interesting about Vinland Saga. The way in which, for example, we saw Thors come back and try and comfort Thorfinn after he lost his second duel, or his third duel in fact, with Askeladd, then try and basically say to him that, you're not doing this for me, kid. I'm gone. You know? You are literally making your life all about trying to avenge my death, but even if you do succeed in avenging my death, I'll still be gone. And you'll have spent all these years killing people for the chance to kill someone else to not actually get me back. And Thorfinn still didn't get what he was being told. Thors told him right at the very beginning of the show that he has no enemies and that he has no reason to go and kill people. And it's such a simple yet difficult thing to grasp and understand. I don't blame Thorfinn in the slightest for not being able to follow that mantra. The idea that you should forgive Askeladd and just move on with your life when every part of his being wants to cut his throat, which is something I could completely relate. You know, I was raised by my dad as a single parent for a while, and then my grandparents pretty much raised me when I was a kid because he was always at work, and then later on my mum came back into the picture and they were obviously separated, but it's still essentially a single dad situation when I was with him, which I was for the majority of the time when he wasn't in work. So if someone was to basically do, if I was to be in Thorfinn's shoes and, you know, it was that sort of a situation where not only did it happen, but you had to watch it happen and there was nothing you could do about it, I know from my own reactions to other things in the past, I would be doing what Thorfinn's doing. I wouldn't be able to sit there and just be like, well, there's nothing that can be done, you killed him, I'm just going to live my life the best way that I can, and that's my own reward. Nah, man, I'd be hunting him to the ends of the earth, and I know it. So, it's real easy to sit here and say that, you know, the real reward is to not give in to those primal desires and just basically let it go. But that's a lot easier said than done. And yeah, maybe I could do it. Maybe, I don't know. You know, at the end of the day, you don't know how you're going to react until it happens to you. But I don't blame Thorfinn in the slightest for not being able to follow those rules. When you're sat here cold and calculating, it makes the most sense on the planet to not seek out violence. And, you know, the old adage goes, when you seek revenge, you need to dig two graves, one for your enemy and one for yourself. And all of that advice goes out the window when it's actually happening to you and your emotions and get the better of you. As for the Battle of London itself, I think it's actually kind of amusing that Thorkel decided to side with the English because he wanted a better fight, because in his opinion the only general that could have led our forces to a happy victory was gone. I'm not entirely sure because, again, my history knowledge is not what it was. I don't know if he was killed or if he had fled with the king to France or what, but he ain't there no more, so Thorkel was like, The only way that I'm going to make this worth my while is if I fight against my own people. So that means I'm siding with the English boys. And yeah, he certainly put up one hell of a fight. There's no way that the Vikings were going to be able to push through with any sense of speed, at least. I mean, they probably would do eventually through sheer attrition. But yeah, Thorkel being on that bridge certainly made it more difficult for them to get anywhere near it. I'm sure that wasn't the last we'll see of him, though. I'm sure we'll end up coming back to London. I mean, they've left the prince there that clearly everybody doesn't have much faith in, so I know he's in the opening credits and he's not just sat behind a tent, so I'm assuming that we're going to see a lot more of him than what we have currently. It doesn't really bother me either way because he hasn't even said a word, and like I say, they're obviously saying that he's not that powerful an opponent. Which is a shame, because when I've been seeing this character, which again, I thought was the woman, so my mistake, maybe. Perhaps he will surprise us, well, I don't know. But either way, I can't wait for the next episode. It's not that far away, like I said. Barely even 3 days away at this point, or 3 days exactly, maybe, in fact. Either way, that's going to be it for me, guys. My brain is fried after having watched those 3. Fire Force will be coming next, and then for those of you on Patreon, I'll be going back at it with Parasite. Probably tomorrow, but I also know I'm out for some of tomorrow, so it will depend how much time I have to get everything edited. I'll definitely be able to watch it all tomorrow, but I don't know how much editing I'll get done. Either way, that's going to be it from me, guys. As always, my name is PsychoGold, and I will see you in my next video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because that's what it's all about. But until such a time as I return, this is PsychoGold, signing out.